Hey, how's it going? It's me. I know I've been missing in action for about a month, and you're probably wondering what the fuck. Well, if you know me outside of the show, you know that I started a new job, and things kind of escalated into a bigger role quicker than I expected. So I've kind of been working a lot, and which is no excuse. I shouldn't be abandoning you guys because you're supporting the show, and I really appreciate you. But I'm back with another video, and I'm making some. I'm working on some designs now for some long sleeve shirts for when the weather gets a bit colder, and a bunch of cool other Patreon stuff. So thank you for sticking around. Now, I've been talking, and I actually mentioned it on the show this week that I've been doing it. Wanted to do a tier list for biscuits, which I know is always a bit of a sensitive subject, but here I am. Now, I've got a list here of some of the more popular British biscuits, and I'm probably going to work my way up from the shit to the good, with some exceptions along the way. So let's get into it, yeah. So we're going to start off with the humble the Garibaldi. Now you already know how I feel about currants and raisins in anything, let alone a biscuit. So a Garibaldi is already straight away going straight into the sea bin, because it's just shit. What is it, like a flattened wafer with currants in it? I would rather suck a bloody uh, disease riddled penis. Well, that may be going too far, but I just no, I don't fuck with a Garibaldi, and that also goes for the fruit shortcake. It's the same kind of deal. I don't want dried fruit and raisins in my biscuit. I want it to be, I don't want to feel like I'm getting any iota of health from my biscuits apart from oats. So any kind of raisin and all that can get fucked. So fruit shortcake also in the C bin. That's two C bins right off the bat. I'm trying to write with the most blunted whiteboard pen of all time. Right, up next we got a ginger nut. Now, ginger's one of them things where, like, if I have it in, like, I like it in savory food, like Chinese food and stuff like that, but anything sweet in ginger, not really into gingerbread men, ginger nuts. Ain't really my thing. It's not sea bin worthy, but I'm gonna go straight into not keen. And also, when you have ginger hair, you kind of get sick of being called a ginger nut. It kind of rubs you the wrong way. Now, a rich tea biscuit. You always know a biscuit's quality when you can knock that cunt on a table and it sounds like a hollow piece of fucking plywood. Fucking tong tong tong. You dip it in the. Its main job is to absorb tea and to be transformed by tea. Which I respect. And, I'm not going to not eat a rich tea if I go visit my gran and that's all she got. I'll dunk that bitch. I ain't afraid. But I ain't going to be searching it out. I'm not going to go purposely to the supermarket, go to the biscuit aisle, grab a giant cylinder of those bad boys and start munching. I just ain't. There's better things. There's more things in your life that are enjoyable than chewing on a rich tea. So I'm also going to put the rich tea in not keen. It's not Sebin worthy, but it ain't the best. It ain't even really that good. Right. A Viscount. Right. They're those, like, minty cream, like it's like a biscuit that's got like a mint cream and a chocolate on top wrapped in green foil. Very rarely I'll be in the mood where I'm like, yeah, I fancy one of them, but they're not really my usual. I'm bored. I'm like, right, I'm not used to doing these. I'm tripping over my words. I'm kind of like in between meh and not keen. What do you think? Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? I'm gonna surprise myself, and I'm gonna put it in meh. I'm gonna put it in meh. Right. On the list, I literally just asked the Discord page, are fig rolls biscuits? Because I've got a list here of the most popular British biscuits, and fig rolls is on it. And all the other lists I've looked at, fig rolls are on that list, along with Jaffa cakes. Now, I don't think Jaffa cakes are a biscuit. I consider them to be like how you get packages of Mr. Kipling cakes, like the angel slices. I consider them to be like that, and I think I put fig rolls in that too. So I'm going to discount fig rolls, and I'll put it in another list of packageable cakes. Right, plain digestives. Plain digestives. I A lot of people be shitting on a plain digestive, but I really like a plain digestive, and I'm going to put it in hell yeah, which could be a bit of a shocker to some. But I like a plain digestive. If there's a choice between rich tea and a plain digestive, mate, I'll drag my bollocks through a mile of broken glass to get to a plain digestive. And then you put chocolate on that bitch, and then we get to that later on down the line. Now, a plain hobnob. I personally love an OT biscuit. Any kind of OT boy, I'm all for it. Whether even like a Rocky biscuit, you get those packets of Rockies because they're just hobnobs but turned into a little chode and individually wrapped. Because fuck turtles. But a plain hobnob, I'm gonna put that in slaps. I can already hear people crying at me, and this is just what I think. I want you to tell me in the comments or on the Patreon or just fucking send me a letter what you would rank these biscuits. Because I know this is not going to be a popular list. My list anyway. Right. Nice biscuits. Fox's Nice Biscuits. Some of you may know how I feel about coconut. Ain't really my thing. I'll eat a nice biscuit and I'll think, nice. They live up to their name. These are nice. And then I'll get that coconut aftertaste. And then in like half an hour, I find a bit of sorry, I find a bit of coconut in the old molars, and I'm just like, oh no, you put me off, So I think I'm gonna put nice in there because they do taste nice, but the aftertaste ain't so nice. Right. I'm just a Maryland chocolate chip cookie. Now I know this isn't like a British biscuit, but I think they've earned their place now. I'm gonna put it in hell yeah. Hell yeah. They're one of those biscuits that you can't just have one of, you have to have the whole sleeve. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's how I got so big and voluptuous. But, malted milk biscuits. I cannot remember the last time I had one. I can't remember. Have I ever had one? I must have. I'm just going to put it in meh because I have no memory of it, so it can't be that special. There's probably someone screaming at me right now because it's their favourite, and they're like, no! Right. Pink wafers is another one that I was thinking, does this go into the biscuit list? Because this is the kind of thing that you put in the lunchbox of like a 5-year-old, and you never really see anyone eat a pink wafer after that. So I'm going to put it in meh as well. Not really. It's not bad enough that I'm going to, fully diss it. Not good enough that I'm going to try and defend it. It's just middle of the road. On the list here, it has Jaffa cakes, but we'll get to that a different day. Spoiler alert, I don't like them either. Right, a shortbread biscuit. You take a bite, you hear the bagpipes blowing, you can feel the Scotch mist going over the Highlands, your kilt's flapping in the wind, and your bollocks are getting a breeze. I love a shorty, right? Especially around the Christmas time. But I'll have it any day of the week. It's just fucking nice, especially when it's got a little bit of sugar, a little bit of shugs on top. That little buttery bite. I'm gonna put it. Now it's not goat worthy, but it's definitely in slaps. So I'm gonna put shortbread in slaps. So here's like how things are looking right now. Please excuse my terrible scratch writing. Right, now here we go. Chocky Hobnob is a goat choice for your boy. I possibly the best biscuit ever made, in my opinion. I love it. I love it, mate. Just cover me in them. Bury me in a basket full of Chocky Hobnobs, and I will be a happy man. Cadbury's Chocky Finger. It's one of those things I don't really think about often. Sometimes I even forget they exist. But when I have one, You know what I say? I say hell yeah. Surprise, surprise. Fat man likes chocolate biscuits and not fruit-filled biscuits. Who'd have thought? Here's a one. Here's one that's dividing people. Party rings. I love a party ring because, of course, I do. But some people be dissing on the party rings. What's not to love? They're these little sugary, sweet little biscuits, and I like them. Especially, I was the kind of kid that when you go to like your friend's birthday party when you're in like year 5 or something. Like the plate of fucking sandwiches. They'll have the potato wrapped in foil with cheese and pineapple sticking out of cocktail sticks. There'll be a little bowl of crisps, and then there'll be like a plate of party rings. I got my little paper plate. I'm grabbing 2 things of party rings, and I'm just gonna sit and nibble on them cunts. Do party rings go in goat? I am debating it, but I think I'm just gonna put them in slabs. I think what I'm realizing here is I have the dietary taste of a 3-year-old, which I already knew. Chalky digestive. Not as good as a Chuggy Hobnob, so I don't think it deserves a GOAT ranking, but I do eat them more than Chuggy Hobnobs, just because, I don't know, I just tend to have them in the house more. Dip them in tea, and it's God tier. But do I put it in GOAT tier? I'm gonna float it in between for the time being, and I'll figure it out by the end. I hope you guys are taking notes for your own list. Jammy Dodger, classic sort of British biscuit. When you hear someone go, "Oh, hello, Governor, I'm a little Jammy Dodger, please." I like a Jammy Dodger. I think I liked them more when I was younger than I do now. I had one recently, and I thought they ain't as good as it was. But it's going in hell yeah. It's going in hell yeah. Jammy D's. Like I wouldn't go and I wouldn't go and buy them regularly, but when I do, it's a good time. Bourbon creams. I personally prefer a custard cream over a bourbon cream, but I am not going to shit on a bourbon cream. In fact, I think one of my earliest memories, was being in preschool and getting in trouble with the nun who ran my little Catholic preschool because I'd stolen some bourbon creams out of another kid's lunchbox. Again, explains why I'm so fat. And I was like, I didn't steal them, as I was holding them in my hand and eating them. So if I'm going to thieve in the house of the god, for bourbon creams, I must have had some affinity with them. So I'm going to put them in hell yeah. Bourbon creams. Right. Sorry, this is a long video. Jam and cream. Fox's Jam and Creams, right? It's like a Jammy Dodger, but it's got some cream in it, little bit of sugars on top. That shit gets my dick harder than a Samoan's head. It's got to go in the GOAT tier. I fucking love it. I don't know if a crunch cream is on this list, but if not, that's going in GOAT as well, because crunch creams are the shits. I love them bitches. Here's the thing. Viennese biscuits. Milk chocolate Viennese. I can't remember the last time I had one of them. But they look decadent, quite posh. And it's got chocolate in it, so it can't be too bad. But because if I'm going on the same scale as I did with my malted milk, where if I can't remember the last time I had them, they're just going to go in meh. But if I try one, I shall, I'll change my ranking. So, Viennese cream. Right, custard cream. Slaps. I love a custard cream. Who doesn't love a custard cream? Probably a lot of people. Right, before we get to the last thing here, I'm going to put a crunch cream in GOAT. Now, on the same episode where I talked about how I was doing this list with Doug, I talked about how the thing I steal the most when I do my biscuit weasel tactics is I go for the little chocolate rounds. The little round chocolate cunts with like an inch thick of Chucky with a little biscuit in the middle. So I'm going to end it here with chocolate rounds. Oh, sorry, I was yawning. I should probably edit these videos and get all these yawns out, but you know what? I'm just not going to do that. Chocolate rounds. I've got to go in a GOAT. because, know what? No, they're going to go in slabs. Because they're not up there with, chalky hobnobs, jam creams, and crunch creams, but I will hunt them down to eat them. So here we are. Here's the ranking. Don't know if you can see that. But we got in the sea bin, Garibaldi and fruit shortcake. In Not Keen, we got ginger nuts and rich teas. In Mare, we got Viscount's nice malted milk, pink wafers, and Viennese creams. In Hell Yeah, we got plain digestive, chocolate chip Maryland cookies, chocolate fingers, jammy Dodgers, and bourbon creams. In Slaps, we got regular hobnobs, shortbread, party rings, custard creams, and chocolate rounds. In between Slaps and Goat, which I've yet to decide, we've got chocolate digestive, and in Goat we got chocky hobnob, a jam cream, and a crunch cream. Now I know that this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but let me know what you think. It's just my personal opinion. Is a Kit Kat a biscuit, or would that rank in like a chocolate bar situation? If it's a biscuit, that would go in Goat too. If it's a chocolate bar situation, I'll do it a different day. Either way, thanks for sticking with me through this fucking long video, and thanks for being patient with me as I sort of get used to working, and I'll see you guys very soon.